Man, I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. That's a heartbreaker for the Detroit Lions and for their fans, for the city, because I like it felt like this was it. Like it felt like this year was it for them, you know? And I knew the Commanders would give them some trouble. The Commanders are a good team. Really good team. I knew the Commanders were going to hang in there, but in the end, I ultimately thought the Lions were going to win this game. I made a video a couple of days ago talking about how, as a Titans fan, I was going to root for the Lions because my interactions with their fans have always been like so cool and they're always so nice. And the Lions are a real rags to riches story. And man, I just did not envision that game tonight going like it went. Not don't take anything away from Washington. It's not that I didn't understand how good Washington was. But at the end of the day, I just thought the home field advantage for Detroit. Detroit has such a stacked roster that I thought, man, they're going to be able to pull away at the end. But my goodness gracious, I don't know if there are words to describe how special Jaden Daniels is for the Washington Commanders. I don't know if there are. I don't know if there are adequate words to describe. Um, I thought he would be good at the NFL level. I did not at all expect him to be what he is, and now, I mean, they're a win away from the Super Bowl. They're a win away from the Super Bowl. If they play the Rams, I think they're going to be favored to win the NFC title game. And the Eagles better look out if it's them, because this guy is something. And for those of you, especially Titans fans, we have the number one pick in the draft. If you don't think a quarterback coming in, a young quarterback coming in and playing well, if you don't think that's a difference maker and that it can turn a lot of things around and it can help your team take a huge, massive step in the right direction, go look at Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders. I mean, just special, very special what he is doing there in Washington, continuing to surpass expectations. And so, I mean, good for him, good for Dan Quinn, good for Scary Terry, good for all of the. I mean, they got other guys in Washington that are good, but Jaden Daniels is just. I mean, he is on another level right now. I don't. I think he might even be better than what CJ Stroud was his rookie year. I mean, last year we went nuts about CJ Stroud, but I think Jaden Daniels has even surpassed that. Like, as just being a rookie coming in and changing everything and playing at such a level that he's got them one game away from the Super Bowl. Unbelievable. For Detroit, it's a bummer for many reasons. It's a bummer because you really felt like this was your year. You felt like you had it, in your grasp, home field advantage, and the Lions were just so good all year. And to have this happen in the playoffs is so disappointing. And I think what's also disappointing, and I know Lions fans don't want to hear this because, of course, after a heartbreaking loss like that, of course you don't want to hear it. But I mean, they're going to lose both of their coordinators because Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn are probably both going to go be head coaches somewhere. Ben Johnson's name has been attached to the Bears, it's been attached to the Jaguars, been attached to the Raiders. Aaron Glenn, Aaron Glenn, his name's been attached to the Jaguars. His name's been attached to so many different teams. And the odds are that the offensive and defensive coordinators for the Lions are going to be head coaches somewhere else next year. And you like to think that the Lions are going to be able to just pick up where they left off and keep going next year. But it can get difficult when, you have a new offensive coordinator, a new defensive coordinator all in one year. That can get tricky. And I hope the Lions can, figure it out and keep going and that Dan Campbell can keep building this thing. But that's a concern, I think, for Detroit going into next year. I think Jared Goff, I think a lot of people probably let down by his performance tonight. I know the city of Detroit, they love Jared Goff. We've heard him chant his name. Like, if ever a city loved their quarterback, Detroit loves Jared Goff. But I think his performance tonight, obviously, you had the pick six, which was not good. I think he ended up with three interceptions. It was, no offense, Don't throw anything at me, Lions fans, but it was very Ryan Tannehill with the Titans-esque. I mean, a few years ago, we were the number one seed, and we felt like we might have something on our hands, and then Ryan Tannehill threw 3 interceptions in a playoff game that caused us to lose. That was kind of what Jared Goff reminded me of tonight. And he's going to be back next year, and Jared Goff had such a great season. And, on one hand, man, I've got a cough that won't go away. On one hand, his season shouldn't be defined by one game, but when that one game is a playoff game, it's going to be. It just is. Whether you like it or not, when you perform like that in a playoff game, it's going to kind of negate everything that you did in the regular season, and that's unfortunate, but it's just the way it is. But for Detroit, what a heartbreaker. I feel bad for their fans. I feel bad for the city because I picked the Lions to win the whole thing preseason, and I felt good about that pick going into the playoffs. But the Lions come up short. The Commanders go into the NFC Championship game. They're rolling. And, I mean, are we looking at the Commanders going to the Super Bowl, Jayden Daniels' rookie year? I mean, that's what every team dreams of. That is literally, and as a Tennessee Titans fan, as I sit here and I see the Titans with the option to pick Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders with the first pick of the draft, I sit here and I say, God, I pray, God, I have seen what you have done for others. Now, can you do that for me and for my team? Because this is what we all dream of. Congratulations to the Commanders, because we literally dream of drafting a quarterback and them coming in and doing what he's doing with Washington. And again, if you don't think a young guy, a young quarterback coming in and playing like that makes all the difference in the world, it's more important than anything. It's more important than the right head coach, although that is important. And I think Dan Quinn is a good coach. I mean, he took the Falcons to the Super Bowl once upon a time. We know what happened when they got there. But listen, Jayden Daniels is not it. I mean, they've got Scary Terry. They've got Dan Quinn, who's a good coach. I understand that. But more important than head coach, GM, offensive coordinator, whatever, what matters most is having a dude like that who can just carry you. Who can cover up the parts of your team that are not exactly great and can make it not matter. It's what Jayden Daniels is doing for Washington. It's what Josh Allen has done for Buffalo and what Lamar Jackson's done for Baltimore and what Patrick Mahomes, with the help of the officials, has done in Kansas City. And these are the kind of guys, this is what you dream about. Washington and their team and their fan base is living it right now. And for fan bases like me and the Tennessee Titans, we long for this. We long to just draft a guy like this and to know that we're set at the quarterback position for years to come. So congratulations to Washington. Detroit fans, I am so sorry. It is just a heartbreaker for the Detroit Lions. Washington is going to the NFC Championship game. Who'd have thought? Tighten up, everybody.